I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and this is the start of quite reviews for Guillermo. And if you're interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, you do request it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both of those links are down below in the info box. If you're waiting on yours, I will be getting to it as soon as I can. Again, if anyone wants to request pretty much any type of video, you do send it directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. As much as I stuttered and fumbled that up, I'm gonna leave it in, just fuck it. I'm not perfect by far. Now, one of the films Guillermo wanted me to talk about, thanks to his PayPal donation, is the lost footage of Leah Sullivan. And by this point, Guillermo's going to have me talk about every found footage film ever made, which is not a bad thing. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to do. This one I had never even heard of. I can see why, because I would never see this film again. It has the same typical found footage ending. I will say though, why this is not a rant. The ending sucks. Like, not all found footage, but a lot of them. But I will say, at least the acting's really good. The lead girl who plays Leah Sullivan, she's really good. And then the cop, who I believe used to know her in school. The whole plot of the film is she's someone doing a school project, research this cold case murder of something called the Mulcahy Massacre, which the 4 people died in this cabin, and she's interviewing people, and that's what most of the film is. Her interviewing people, interviews her aunt, interviews the locals, interviews a guy who talks about legends, interviews the guy who found the bodies, and so forth. And for the first hour or so, I went, is this even a horror film? Like, there's really nothing horrific. I mean, other than one part where, wait, did you see something in the window? When they're looking at the cabin, her and the cop, and the murder case itself. And part of me wonders if it would have been better if it was that. If this wasn't a horror film, but it was just a fake documentary about this cold case murder. And then maybe she finds something out, some info, and then leads to an arrest, and twists and turns. Oh, this is the real truth, and becomes a found footage version of, I don't know, the Pelican Brief or something. Honestly, I think that would have been better. And not something I've seen much in a footage film. But then, of course, the very first minute is text going, this is footage I found on SD card of girl named Leah Sullivan. I think she might be dead. I don't know why that made me laugh when I read, I think she might be dead. And they don't know shit about capitalization. Does this text, like, everything's in small, like, lowercase letters? I just, whoever wrote that text doesn't know shit about capitalizing letters, let alone I's and shit. Go back to school. And who the fuck found this footage? I don't know. But right there, it kind of gave away the ending in the first minute. Which other found footage have done that, including Blair Witch Project, which I love. But that was 1999. This came out 2018. Like I said, the acting is pretty good. They're natural. The lead girl is vibrant, has a fun personality. When she's doing the interviews, they seem natural. They flow. It doesn't seem scripted. I've seen a lot of found footage films. A shitload. I even have a playlist of reviews of these kind of movies. I don't know if all of them are on the playlist, but it's a good chunk of them. There's many that I love. As Above, So Below, Exists, Afflicted, Butterfly Kisses I was surprised by, 1999 Blair Witch Project I love, The Tunnel, and more. But then there's a lot of bad ones. This one, I can't say it's bad because it's fairly basic. This seems like something that could... If this costs more than... Okay, realistically, let's say they had nothing. Let's say they had to buy a camera with actual good HD quality, maybe sound equipment. I don't know how much would that, $1,000, $2,000? I don't know. Pay for a couple actors. I'm saying this couldn't have cost that much to the point. This seems like something that would be for free on YouTube. And it wasn't. It was for rent. In fact, I know it is. It was $4.23 to rent the thing on YouTube. Because usually I try to find these films to watch for free. This one I couldn't. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm like, okay, the guy paid a good amount. I can go ahead and rent his. And I'm watching going, well, this movie, there are free movies on YouTube that have the same budget as this. I mean, I would almost say this would have been for free, the cost of this movie. Like, if you had the camera, because you only have a couple actors, a couple locations, and most of it is literally just talking with someone. And because it's supposed to be, I guess, unedited, so you do have stuff where she's doing all these takes in front of the camera. And like I say, acting wise, that was fine. Did you get to see her personality where she keeps screwing up? It's like, look how dumb I am. So it made me like the character. And the top character, he seems like a fun, nice guy. And I believe they're also the writer-directors behind this. The lead and the top character. Like those actors. But I do see people, it's definitely a slow burn. I just see people being very, very bored with this. I wasn't bored. Because, yeah, I thought the actors did their jobs well. I'm a sucker for fake documentaries on this crime that happened. And, okay, what are they going to say? What info are they going to mention? Is that going to lead to anything in the future? For example, I liked, it's not a horror film, but Population Zero. Again, that's not a horror film. I would say that's a film that did this better. Is Population Zero. I believe that's what it's called. So I would put that over this. And the two leads, they work well with each other. They goof on each other. They scare each other. And either they go to the cabin, they end these long shots, or they look through the case and they look through the photos. Oh, family 4 was found dead. They were tied up in separate rooms. They were chopped up. They interview a cousin of the victim. And like I said, the interactions are relaxed. They're natural. They interview a guy who tells stories and tales. if what I'm saying doesn't interest you, I don't blame you. Again, I would never see the film again. But with as many found footages as I've seen, I do appreciate the fact that the acting is actually rather fucking good. Like, really good in this. I did natural, relaxed. I don't know if a lot of it was improv or just, hey, let's go with the flow. If it is, it worked out for the better. But like I was saying, for the first hour, I almost forgot, like, is this a horror film? Because there's really nothing horror except that one moment I mentioned. Oh, they saw something. Did something move in there? There's nothing really else. And they dig a bit further. They realize, wait a minute, there's a lot more missing people. And maybe a cover-up with the police. But then they never really get into what that whole deal was. Like, if there was a cover-up, why was there a cover-up? If the cops knew about this, the one cop mentioned, oh, these files were hidden in the ceiling. Why? It never really goes into why that was the case. It never really answers that question as to why there would be a cover-up, especially when you find out what's going on. And then the last 20 some minutes as they go into the house, of course. And the scares were decent in the fact of they do reveals, and thankfully they didn't do the, when there's a reveal and the music will go boom or da da da. They didn't do that. So I thought it made it a bit effective. Like the girl puts the camera down, leans down, and behind her is this figure with an axe or a hatchet. And then she gets up and turns and there's nothing there. Or she has a camera, she picks up as she's moving the camera, you see a figure behind her, and then she turns, there's nothing there. The fact that they didn't use music during that scenes, I thought actually made those scenes more effective. But I would say spoiler, but technically the first minute of the text gives you the spoiler. But the strange thing about it, more spoilers if you're that interested in the movie. If you're that interested in the movie, get ready. I think this figure is Lizzie Borden. Remember 40 Wax, One More, 41. I forget the actual, I won't call it nursery rhyme, but the story. Lizzie Borden had an axe, Dave 40 Wax. I think that's what this is. Because Leah Sullivan mentions that randomly before. I said, wow, they got chopped up. And then there's a girl figure with an axe. I'm like, so is this Lizzie Borden? That was out of the fucking blue, if that's it. I mean, other than that one random line. My body literally just went... My body literally did a sigh of its own. It was a burp, but it was also a sigh, like... Okay. It results in spoilers. The cop, the figure is attacking the cop, the door's closed, you hear the voice go, his voice going, run! She runs. Right, she should run faster. I don't know why she just doesn't drop the camera. That's always the question you ask. So it goes that typical camera doing this, running, doing this, gets outside, going to the car, going this, turns around, there's Lizzie Borden or whoever the fuck, swings, falls to the ground like this, and then you see it dragged away. I know you can't see with just my hand. Maybe I do it like this, and then dragged away. And then you hear Leah Sullivan, the character's voice, going, where are you taking me? And then it ends. So if you don't mind those type of endings, it's a slow burn movie. There's not a lot of, I thought, like cheap jump scares or any of that sort. I was kind of getting interested in the mystery of this Mulcahy massacre. Its simplistic nature was refreshing compared to other films. They tried to be too in your face. And particularly the acting by the leads were good, solid, vibrant, natural, relaxed. Relaxed as in they weren't trying to force certain emotions. But at the end of the day, is a lot of people sitting, talking, sitting, talking, sitting, talking. I could see a lot of people being bored by that. And then, you know what? If this had a different... Oh, I guess the fact... I guess fucking Lizzie Borden is different, but... It gave away in the first 30 seconds, minute, so I can't say it was surprise. And it says the lost footage. How do you think that was lost? It just... Oh. The fact that 90% of these found footage movies end this way... Man, I'm just getting tired of that type of ending. How about do 50-50 instead of 90-10? Do you have a 50-50 chance? But yeah, it does tell you right off the bat, so you can't say you're that shocked or surprised. Even the title pretty much tells you what it is, so maybe that's also... It wasn't a sneak attack, because it tells you the first fucking seconds. I guess if you're a diehard found footage fan and you are fine with a slow burn, sure, go for it. Other than that, I don't know what to say. Good job on the actors. I guess they're the directors as well, but good job on the acting. Show that they can do it. But this does seem like something I should not have had to pay for. Not because of Guillermo, the guy who requested it, but I mean the makers of the film. This doesn't seem like you should charge people for this movie, because there are people who release free stuff on YouTube, found footage movies that do the same thing, or even more intricate stuff. Like those people, who is it, that did the Slender Man stories? What the hell is it called? I forget what it is. They did like a whole series of videos that you could link together about Slender Man mythology. And those were for free. They didn't sell them, as far as I know. I forget what the hell it was called. That seems like they at least tried to do more intricate stuff, ambitious, compared to this. But anyway, that's what my thoughts on. I don't know why I started telling. That's what my thoughts on. My thoughts on lost footage of Leah Sullivan. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.